Hello. I know it's been a while since I posted a video, but this video is going to be a little different than my traditional videos when I talk about the military, when I talk about a motorcycle. This is going to be to my roots, which is engineering. I did make a few engineering videos in the past in regards to people dropping out of engineering, and that's a problem. But this is going to be a shorter video where I'm not going, it's not a reaction video. This is just me talking about why engineering is so difficult, why people drop out of engineering, right? If you're looking for videos on military and travels and stuff like that, it's going to be coming up soon. I'm in Japan. You can see that picture. I'm in a hotel, and I'm here for work with the military. So I'll make a video detailing about it in the coming weeks when I go back to the States. But let's talk about engineering and why it's so difficult and why people drop out, right? So the main reason why people drop out of engineering is because it is difficult. It's just the most difficult degree in the entire world. There is no other bachelor degree, undergraduate level degree that is harder. Now people will be like, "Oh, being a doctor is hard." Yeah, of course, that's a doctorate level, right? That's not a graduate level, undergraduate level. That's a graduate doctorate level courses. So we're not comparing like doctorate level to undergraduate level, but undergraduate level engineering is by far the hardest of all the other degree. Some people will fight me on that. No, just according to statistics, this is just the way it is. Just facts. This is just number right now. You can't be mad at facts, right? As stats. It's like getting mad at 3 times 3 equal 9. You can't be mad at that, right? Engineering has the highest dropout rate in all other degrees, right? All the degrees is 50 to 60% dropout rate. The second that comes close is maybe medical, and that's like 20%, dropout rate. That's not even anywhere close to engineering. So when I was going through engineering school, I started out as a mechanical engineering student. You would kind of see classes being empty at the end of the school year, right? So you'll start out being at like a very full class of like maybe hundreds of students, and by the end of the semester, the lecture hall is kind of like a ghost town, and that's kind of how it goes. A lot of people drop out of engineering, and it doesn't matter where you are. I drop out of engineering myself when I was younger, but I was able to join the military, change myself, get myself into where I need to be, and was able to finish my physics degree. Now, physics and engineering is very similar, especially mechanical engineering. Physics, there would be no such thing as engineering without physics, right? And a lot of things that, everything that a mechanical engineer has to know, and everything that an electrical engineer has to know, a physicist has to know as well, as a physics graduate, right? So that's the way it is. You could be mad at me all you want, it's just the way it is, right? You're being mad at stats, right? 3 times 3 equal 9. It's just the way it is, right? And I'm probably gonna get a few people in the comments. Oh, I took easy physics 101, easy physics 102. It's so easy compared to my engineering classes. You took baby physics, right? You didn't take the higher level physics classes that will literally turn your brain into mushrooms. But yeah, so that's kind of the way it is. And the reason that engineering is hard is because it's very math focused, right? You have to be very, very good at math, or you have to be very studious at math. It's very physics focused, and it's very, very science focused, right? So those are very technical classes. That's very, very straightforward, and it's very easy for you to fall a little bit behind, and then you're just dug a hole for yourself, and they're just gonna soldier their way through, right? So if you're a slower, lower learner like myself, you would find it very difficult, right? And you would kind of have this self-fulfilling prophecy where you're like, well, people who succeed in engineering, they are born with better cognitive ability than I do, and that's not really true. Like, some people are better than other, but the vast majority of people who graduated from engineering are not the best student in the world. They're not born with the highest IQ, but they just work really hard and they were able to finish, and they have the discipline for themselves to be able to finish, right? And a lot of time, a lot of people who are very bright in high school go to college and find it very, very hard, right? Like they have never failed a class in their life, and they came to college in engineering, and that's the first F, C, maybe D they ever had in their life, and it's destroyed them, and they don't want to continue anymore, and like they don't handle failure very well, right? So that's also another thing, right? But if you're the type of person that try and try and try again, and you just want to be an engineer and you love engineering and you just can't see anything else, don't switch to another major, right? Switch to another school. Right? That's just my advice for you. If you're in a top or higher ranking engineering school, and you would probably know if you are like top 50, those schools are going to be a lot harder. Not doesn't mean that if you go to another school, like a lower rated school, like your education would be any less. It wouldn't be because it has an accreditation, right? Everything is the same, but the exams in the higher ranking school will be made to fail you, weed you out, versus in regular lower rated school, they are just made to test you with your ability. You're right. So to understand the material. So if you are in that situation, I would urge you to take maybe a leap year off, maybe just do some work, some part-time job, take a leap year, get your mental state back in order, and then go and take classes at like a different school, maybe even online school. Liberty University has an online engineering program where you could do that, right? So if you're struggling with it, like switch school before switching your degrees, because if you switch your degree, you're looking at like a short-term solution to a long-term problem, right? Or a long-term solution to a short-term problem, right? So like the degree that you pick, yeah, in the short term, you'll be happier, you'll be able to pass class and feel good about yourself. But once you finish and you get that useless piece of paper that said economics or business or history on it, you're not going to be able to find a job, because those type of degrees are so overly saturated. Everyone and their mother has a degree these days. You're going to be working minimum wage jobs with those type of degrees, overqualified for your position, right? So what you need to look for is a degree that is so hard for everyone to take that you have to, when you take it, there's a stranglehold on it, that there's a huge demand for those type of degree, and engineering is one of them, right? So I would urge you to switch to another school. So my story is that I went to Penn State University, ranked top 30, 25, maybe like in some other engineering field, it's like ranked in a single digit, right, on how high ranking it is. So of course they're gonna make their degree really really difficult, and they have this mentality where we need to fail these as much engineering student out as possible, because we need to weed out all the people who wouldn't be as hardworking, because if they go out and build a bridge or whatever and it collapsed, then it's on us, right? Like if they're not good engineers, like they would build like horrible bridges and building, and it would collapse, right? And that's the mentality, right? So like I was going to engineering school in Penn State University, right? My girlfriend at the time was going to an engineering school in I drop a pen, going to an engineering school in Vermont, in Burlington, Vermont. So I think it's UVM, that's what they call it, which has an engineering program as well. Now, if I could have done it over again, I would have gone to that school, not to be closer to her, but because when I was going through it, she has to take the exact same classes that I would for early stages of engineering, like Calculus 1, Calculus 2, like Chem 1, Physics 2, Physics 1, Physics 2. And those classes for her compared to mine is a joke. Their exams are super easy. They get to bring their calculator into the exam with them. It's really, really, like I looked at her exam paper and I was reading through it, and what they were, it's all like super easy. You get partial credit for every single thing that you do, right? And it's just like simple, like what you see in the homework is what you're gonna see on the exam. at Penn State University, what you see in the homework has nothing to do with the exam at all. It's two completely separate animals. The exam and the homework, like if you study the homework, you are going to fail. Even if you understand, if you read the entire book, the entire textbook, understand everything in a deep level, you go take the exam, you're still going to fail. The only way to pass is to go and study the past exams, because like the newer exam will be very similar to that. So that's how you pass in an elite school. In this school, they only test your knowledge, and her engineering school was ranked like 300 something, right? So it's not even like it's like minus top 30. Hers is like lower 300s, right? So like not even comparing ranking, but if I could do it again, I would have gone there, because I would at least get a degree that say engineering on it. Because if you're like, you can go to the most elite prestigious school that you want, Harvard, Stanford, MIT. If you don't finish, you don't get to claim yourself an engineer. People who went to a community college and got a degree is an engineer. You're not. They're above you, right? And then and this is an ego. Sometimes when people don't want to switch, it's their ego talking, right? They're like, oh, like I'm better than other people. I am in MIT. I got into MIT, and that's a wrong mentality, because if you don't finish, you're not going to get a job, and you can't call yourself an MIT graduate. You were an MIT student, a dropout, right? But then, oh, well, I'll switch to another degree so then I can call myself an MIT graduate. It doesn't matter, because you didn't have a degree in engineering, so you're still competing with all these other people who are not able to finish the engineering degree as well, who went to an easier degree, and now they have like a useless piece of paper they can frame in mahogany and hang it on their wall, and they can't do anything with it, right? So that's what my recommendation for you right now. If you are a student in engineering, right? Other people are not better than you at math. They're not. No one is inherently born with math skills, unless you're like these special people that's like the 1% of the 1%. So don't even look at that. That's so rare. Everyone has very similar stats when it comes to math. It's just that you just need to build up your foundation of math to be able to get there, and it takes a while, right? You can't jump ahead of the line. So if you're weak in algebra, then you have to start studying algebra, understand that geometry, trigonometry, pre-calc, calc, and then you can keep going up, like in this different level of calculus, right? You have to kind of build that up. And if it's too difficult for you to study at a elite engineering school, then go to an easier school and finish that engineering program, because it's worth it, right? Because if you come out with a business degree, good luck finding a job. Good luck finding a job, right? If you switch to a history, that's even harder to find a job. So yeah, I hope you like serving McDonald's. If you were that stubborn having to stay in your same school, I get it, right? You have friends, you have events, you have a club, you set up a bunch of like things that you understand, that that you feel safe, that you feel connected. You set up a community, but those type of thing that you set up is very temporary. So when the time you graduate, all those things go away. Bye bye. All your friends that you build up all these years go all over the world. You never see them again. Maybe once a year you get together and you have a hoorah, and that's about it, right? Like I never spoke to my college friends ever since I left school, and we were really tight, and like they're all across the world. One of them, I follow them on LinkedIn, in California, the other ones in Vermont, the other ones in other places across the world. I don't have the opportunity to talk to them. They some of them unfriend me because I have a different opinion than them when it comes to politics. Like friendship kind of breaks apart, especially once you're done. So pick for your future. You're not there to have fun. You're there to get the credentials for you to be able to succeed for the rest of your life. You are not there to party. You are not there to have fun, right? And if you're lonely, like you go to a new school, you're afraid you're going to be alone, you'll be lonely, you'll be all these different things, then be lonely. Because you're not there to have fun. You're not there to make friends. You're there to get the credentials that you need to do to succeed in the rest of your life. And you can always join clubs, activity, build up your friend group again, right? You can always do that, right? Because you're going to have, if that scares you, it's gonna be very scary when you graduate and you have to go to a work environment that you don't know anybody, right? You start in the bottom and people above you crap on you, right? And you're gonna have to get used to it, right? So that's my thoughts on it. Tell me if you agree, disagree, comment below. If you are struggling with engineering, and you need academic advising with your life, with your academics. I do academic advising. I have helped a lot of family already. If you need help getting into school, picking school, whatever, let me know. If you need help with the military, comment below, and I will be sure to get back to you. Actually, I will leave an email link below. So just email me that you want to set up an appointment or something, and we can kind of work on it. Like we can work with each other. I have a few success story already, so maybe I'm happy to have you become my next success story as well. So I'm happy to help. So just send me an email. All right, peace.